Okay. So I think now what we have to talk about is this week we'll have so many sessions. I understand that we are so much engaged, especially in our our school activities and all of that. We are so much engaged. So I don't know. That's why it has to always be like a consensus. So we can always talk to agree on the platform so that we know when to meet and when not to meet. But I think that Hafiz, do you have something to tell us about your work before I
Hello.
continue? Hello, Hafiz.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Oh, I nearly
Yeah, sir.
skipped. Okay.
Yeah. Sir. So actually, we didn't do much. Sorry for that. I'm really, really sorry for
Don't
that.
don't worry.
Yeah.
Just
Okay. So we created a documentation and we included the overview.mg, the
okay.
problem.mg, and the solution.mg. But with the architecture, roadmap, user flow, and grocery, I've not added anything on that, please. And
Mm,
also with the code, I've added the smart contract. Like, let me go there.
mm,
Um, I've added the code, everything, the smart contract and the front end, everything is added, but it wasn't
mm.
splitted. So I'm yet to split that one. Yeah, it's all
Okay.
together. Yeah. So
So I
inshallah, I'll be working on that very soon.
sure.
I'm
So
really, really sorry on that.
I'll be counting on you guys. I think that let's do our best to at least get to some level. Even if we get to some level, then we know that now where we have gotten our projects to, they make a lot of sense that we can even go anywhere with that. You can even pitch to people and all of that. That's what we are just interested in because what I feel is that it doesn't make sense to just build and dump it over there. No, that's we've seen so many hackathons that already happen in Ghana here, and ideas just die immediately after the hackathon. Ideas die there. So what is the use of just having hackathons? Just to bring people together. They come, do, then finally they get prizes, then they all go home and stuff like that. We think that that's not the right way. We should move. And maybe we can start this, and other people will follow when they see that what we are doing is making sense. After the hackathon, we did not stop there. We still continue to build because I know this is something that will also entice other communities to start doing so that they don't just leave ideas to die after a hackathon. That shouldn't make sense. So I think that's fine. And then is Kofi here? I can see that Kanhoto is here.
Yeah, hello, sir. I'm here.
Hello.
Hey, it's my
Okay.
background. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Kofi, we can hear you.
Yeah. Say I've created an organization. Initially I told Majid to do it, but he said he's busy with his proposal and something. So I've
Okay.
I've created the organization
Mhm.
and I just sent the link to the classroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. So I think it is currently an empty organization. I think you should try to push more things into it. Maybe after here you can try to push the documentation, and then you try to create the make sure you have the four repositories in there. That's the documentation, that's the docs, the front end, the smart contracts. And if you have a backend, then you can include it. But if you don't have a backend, you can decide to leave that. So that only, but me like this, I think right now I'm building a particular dApp right now, and I wanted to build a backend. Previously, I was building one particular dApp, and I had a backend with it, and I think that was a mistake because this time I'm also building a dApp, and I decided not to even have a backend because I'm using Next.js. So what I feel is that, and it makes my work quite easy because the previous one I was using React RTK, React RTK to query the data from the backend, which you have to now store the Redux, React Redux, use this RTK query. You have to configure it and make it there. So I feel that that was just too cumbersome. Now I'm using Next.js API. So instead of trying to now have a backend, I just write the controllers inside. Let me see if I can show you. This particular project I'm building right now is even an open source. I made it an open source. So even if you want to contribute, you can contribute. I'll leave it open source forever and ever. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Hey.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So this is a project I'm currently building. I call it ANOCare. That's anonymity care, and it's a project that's, oh my God. Okay. So it's an open source application that empowers users to consult AI privately. Repo link and get referred to verified clinicians. So let me copy the repository link. And then this is what I'm doing there. I wanted to create a backend for the but later I decided to use the Next.js API, integrate that the Next.js server integrated in it. So that, and I've been using that for some time now. And I think this is so easy. Like I wouldn't like advise somebody to use a backend, like create a separate backend again, because of what I've learned so far with this method. I see it to be quite easy to do. So this is my client. This is my client. So you can see that I have everything here. And then this is my client. So this is a contract. I'm using hard hat. And then I just created the main DApp, which is ANOCare DApp. That's the main folder. Then I configured hard hat in it. That gave me these contracts and all these things you can see. Then I created the client in it. And I want to open the client. Instead of now trying to create a backend, what I'm doing here is I just use this. If I open the app, Next.js comes with this API. And it's so easy, guys, so easy using the API. Seriously. What I'm doing here is just, for example, this is the app route. So the only thing I will do is to create a route inside the API. Okay. So I create a route inside the API. Then when you click to open it, I now have the logic. That's a controller logic. Now, if I were going to create a backend, this is what will happen. Inside the backend, I have to now create, something like controllers, and then inside the controllers, I can have something like this. And then I have to now use either React, Axios, or these kind of API fetching, libraries to now integrate and go direct to my backend to fetch this. But now this is making my work very easy. I just on the client, I don't even worry myself again. I just navigate between repositories and I'm able to fetch from the backend. Yeah, I'm using MongoDB. And then I'm also using libraries like I'm using an encryption technology. As you can see, maybe when you open, I'll not talk much. When you open it, you'll find more about it in case you want to contribute or see what is going on. So I have, this one, like this is the model, the application model. So now if I was going to have a backend, it means that inside the backend, I'll have to be creating this application model, what and what model. And then I have to now get API to be going there to be fetching all the things or to be interacting with that controller, to make me achieve what I want. But now I just do everything inside the repository without running around. Okay. And then this is my MongoDB. configuration. You can see very simple. There's nothing like server. Now go and get server.ts. Then inside the server, you have to now all app.ts. Then inside the app, you now write all the express kind of stuffs, express the config and write all of those stuffs. No, this is making the work easy. So I will recommend if you are still going with the backend, no problem. There are so many ways of killing a cat. So I'm not saying that one doesn't work. It also works. So depending on what you are used to. I'm only recommending this because of my current experience with it. Yeah, uh, this is it. Then when you check more, if you check the repository, you will find more. I've been building it. Maybe I'm building many things, but this one I built it because it is an open source. Very soon, I know I'll get some people to be contributing. I have some guys in Latam who I think they also want to contribute sometime. So, that's the beauty of open source. Finally, you get people that will also come to contribute, stuff like that. So, as I keep building, small, people will start coming to contribute. Okay. So that's what I would suggest. All right. So now we're talking about the docs folder, the smart contract folder, what's the name? The front end. And then also, if you want to have a backend, you have the backend folder. Without a backend, you leave it this way. And then you start building. But I also recommend that you should go with Next.js and then TypeScript for your front ends. Try to go with TypeScript for your front ends. And then I know it's very difficult. TypeScript, using TypeScript, sometimes it's not easy. You just be annoyed with TypeScript. But I also I'm recommending TypeScript because I have some previous experience about using JavaScript. And then after I deployed the app, the bugs were just too much to be fixed. Small time now bugs, small time now bugs. So the time you use to fix the bugs, if you use TypeScript during your building, it's better because Charlie, JavaScript is just something. It allows you to just be building, you'll be flowing, and you like that. You'll love that. It's allowing you to flow. Later, the thing will bully you. It'll give you a tough time. So I also think you should use TypeScript and then Next.js to build your front ends. And if you are using Next.js to build your front end, guys, I still recommend that use the Next.js API to make your work easy. You can use that one to make your work very easy. Okay, so now let's go to the repo. Then we see what we'll be doing this week. I'm using external screen and the converter is having a problem. So it's having a problem connecting with the monitor. Okay. So guys, let's look at this week what we'll be doing. So we'll now be working on our development and MVP building. And also I want to say this, let's try our best. I know this is the difficult part of the whole thing. And I know some of you are currently writing exam because I think is it one of you or yes, reach out to me that he's currently writing his exams. And I know that this is the tough time. So your teams will have to sit up to to work on this. Like I always say, let's try our best. There are some functionalities that we should make sure that we get that working. Look, if you are going to the MVP phase, let's say you want fans for your product, they don't really want everything to be working. Guys, they don't want everything to be working, but get some few functions working really perfect so that if somebody wants to test your DApp, the person can really create an account, then connect his wallet, and then do the basic functionalities. So after doing the basic functionalities, now get all the, some of the functions that you want to add later. Just get them down. Make sure you have them down. And then try to attach coming soon to them. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I've been reading a lot of MVPs and I see that a lot. There's no problem. And that cannot even prevent, that cannot prevent your DApp from getting funded. No, it's not possible. So what you need to do is just try to get, for example, let's say you are building, Utilize, for example, and we know that we expect people to get on the platform, be able to talk to an agent, or an agent can get on the platform, register himself as, an agent that, that provides or that sells MTN mobile money, MTN, credit or ECG credit, stuff like that. Then there's also a user that whenever he wants ECG credit, he gets on the platform, connects his wallet. Then there are a lot of agents listed with their reputations that he can look and see this agent is available right now. He gets the agent, request that he wants to buy this, and the agent provide, stuff like that. So you can just do some simple functionalities, make these two things. These are the key things. I know there will still be a lot of functions or activities that will be happening on Utilize, but these are the few things that people want to see. And whenever you are pitching, these are even the key things that you'll be talking to people about Utilize. So at least you try to get that happen, that we can even use test tokens at that time. This is an agent who comes to the platform. The agent, is available right now. When somebody comes to the cloud, the person can see many agents listed. And then a user comes, click on an agent based on either the agent. I don't know how, I think I have to go and read more about Utilize. If I'm saying different thing, I beg pardon me. Let's say if the agent, the user comes and see like the if the user comes and see agents based on their reputations, the user can decide to select one that he wants to buy an ECG, a chart or something can open. So let's say you are using a smart contract chart. For example, you can go and check. I don't know if their repository is I don't know if it is open source. That's one thing about Africans right now. I don't know why we are just selfish. Excuse my language, Charlie. Guys, we are just too selfish. Open source on closed source projects on everywhere. Why are we doing that? What's going on? You go to these white guys, they have open source everywhere. If we didn't have Bitcoin being open source, Ethereum will not be here today. If Ethereum is not open source, we wouldn't have Solidity, Solana. All of these guys, they don't care about making their repos open source. But we Africans. So guys, I don't know. You can check some platforms that have. I'll do some research. I think I was reading one particular platform. I don't know where that platform was from, and they have this particular smart contract escrow. So I think if you want to have that, you can just go and look at how this smart contract escrows work. Try to integrate that, and incorporate that with your agent and then the user, so that when somebody just comes to the platform, the person see an agents and agents listed. The person click to have, I want to buy ECG credit from this agent. The person will key in the amount he wants to buy, this and this and this. The smart contract escrow will open. This one can, I think within this week, you can have everything working. With this, I'm sure that you can just make it work this week, and we can build together. Do not worry. In case you need any of us in this community to work together, we can work together. So there's no problem about that. Let's just make sure that we get these key key functionalities happen. So whenever after everything, we now have a demo, a short demo. When you pick this dApps or MVPs we have, their demo, they only targets on few functionalities, and that makes the demo. Within 2 minutes, the demo is done. You're going to be watching the demo. What are doing? Just on few things like the few demonstration. You do this, connect your wallet, the person connect wallet, select this and that ends it. The demo is done. And they're already applying for funds to continue building. Yes, that's what we should see. So after everything, let's just make sure that we make this happen. And that will happen within this week. So I know this week is going to be tough because I really wish by next week we'll move to testing. I really wish next week we'll be testing so that we can even conclude everything next week. But the demo and launch preparation too. That we can even use weekends to finalize this. I'm not sure they should take us like a week. We can use like 1 week to finalize it. But let's make sure that next week we try our best. So that will even be this week to next week. Let's try our best to finalize the building stuffs so that next week we can finalize without getting to the 4th week, because this is the 2nd week of March, right? Or this is okay, yes, 2nd week. We just entered 2nd week of March. So let's make sure that the 3rd week of March we are done with the MVP so that we can prepare everything down and we now know that we are ready for anything. Okay, we now know that we are ready for anything. So we have a lot of work to do this week, and I trust in us. Trust in that this is not anything. Yeah, we can do it. So from today going, we'll be working on the smart contract and backend setup, the front end and UI, UX design, APIs. So another thing I would say is that, guys, let's try our best. If you want to work alone, no problem. But if you know very well that you know somebody who is a front end developer, or you are a very serious or good at front end, and this person is good at smart contract, let's try to get them involved. Then we work as a team. So at the end of the day, getting the app work is the most important thing. Okay? Getting the team work is the most, and everyone is winning, regardless of whatever. Look, if you understand this place very well, you wouldn't even want to bother yourself too much, just killing yourself to work on an app alone. Seriously, this space is so big that even if you are greedy, you will not enjoy it. So somebody who is greedy or selfish will not enjoy this space. That's why some of us, we love Web3. Web3 is just a place that it doesn't tolerate greedy people, because everything favors those that work in teams or those that work in communities. That's how Web3 works. So those that work in communities or in teams, Web3 favors them more than those that work solo. And you will see that and understand. Maybe some of you are already seeing it, or some of you will see it later as we move on this journey. You will see it very well. It is very clear. You get to a time that you just know that working solo is the reason why you are not being favored, because people don't trust like that in Web3. We use community to validate you, and then also we use team to validate you. I don't know if I can show this chart to you. Right now, there are some grants going on, and if I tell you how these grants supervisors or administrators, sometimes they just reach out to you randomly. They just reach out to you randomly and be asking you about some guy. I contact the guy. I asked him, "Do you know these guys?" He said no, but the idea was good. Seriously, the idea was good. They are building something which was good, but they don't know them. And there are just two guys in the team. And these two guys, none of them is really serious. And they don't belong to any group. They are not even belong to Web3 club. So that was the red flag, a very big red flag. Very big red flag. They can send you to court. Okay? That's Web3. In Web2 or these traditional organizations, if they are giving you funds, they make you do KYC and many things. If you default, they will pick you and send you to court. Web3 is not like that. So we're going, I followed them. Finally, I had to tell them that I don't know them. And then, not knowing that at that same time, they were talking to Web3 Bridge. Even though they were talking to Web3 Bridge too about those guys. He said he doesn't know them. And that is the problem. But you see, we are living in an environment that dealing with people is just difficult. So sometimes you just wish that until everyone see what is really happening out there, sometimes it's quite difficult. And me, I'm always trying to share my experience with you guys because I think we are brothers now and we are growing together in this thing. Let's try to be opener, especially let's try to work with people, and then let's not feel that there's somebody who's going to take the credit from you or what. No, that's not what threat. You understand the space is so big. We haven't even gotten to have even quarter of it. Nothing. You haven't gotten to quarter of it. Every day I see opportunities, millions of opportunities going around without even Africans involved in it. Yes, because Africans are still lacking the teamwork and we are still so reserved to one another. Like just like how Africans are being divided with boundaries, where we have Togolese, meanwhile Togo and Ghana. Why? Why should we have a boundary between Togo and Ghana, Burkina Faso and Ghana? Why should we have a boundary? That's still the same thing happening even within we human beings in Africa. And I tell you, this is a problem, a very red flag for us here in Africa. And I think that because these guys I'm just talking about, you are in Kenya with Web3 clubs. These guys have been doing a lot of work in Web3 club. Why can't you just associate yourself, even just be in their community? Just be in their WhatsApp group or even their Telegram group, if not anything, just be in there. They are not even part of their WhatsApp group. They are not part of their Discord. They are not part of their Telegram. They say you are building in Web3. You see? So they denied. Optimism threw away their proposal. And meanwhile, I saw their idea. It was a nice idea. But, they can't trust you. Who will trust you? Can't trust you. So I think that we have to just find a way that if you know somebody that can assist so that you build together, you can build with a person. Your app can earn you a lot of money in Web3. Just make it happen that you all will be satisfied. You are all going to be satisfied. You even be building the next app again together. You can continue building together, not just that one particular dApp you are building right now. You can continue building more dApps, and Web3 will still be rewarding you just based on your team and how we are really making. Because at the end of the day, execution is what matters. It's not about your idea or what, it's execution. What you are building today. I started building Anoke. And then one day I was just sitting down watching videos on YouTube. I think that was last week. I was just watching videos on YouTube about it was technical events that happened, past technical events that happened. Then I was just doing some random watching. Then I came to watch this video say Talking Africa. Then I saw that some people were building the same idea that I'm building. Some people were building the idea. It's just that they didn't have the Web3 component in it. But the AI idea and whatever I thought about building with this particular dApp, they were talking as if they were sitting down when I was discussing this idea with some of my friends. Then I began thinking that, look, guys, this is a space that nothing is new. The only thing that works is execution. Idea doesn't win. It's execution that wins because everybody gets the idea. Whatever you are building here, everybody, some people are doing it and some people have already done it. Okay. But at the end of the day, what matters is it working? Who's using it? Is it solving people problem? Regardless of how many people problem to solve. If we have a solution here, for example, I just mentioned bit refill. Guys, if I want to ask you a question, if you want to be sincere with me, how many of you know bit refill? How many Ghanaians or even Nigerians know bit refill? Okay. Meanwhile, Bit is there, and they say they are also working, they are solving this problem. But how many people know? So, whatever be the case, what you are also building, you are going to solve problem for millions or thousands of people somewhere. Because today, those dApps that you see and think they are already there, they are working. How many people are using them? And there are still millions of people who need that service. They are not even seeing that. Okay. So at the end of the day, what works is it working? Is it also solving people problem? So I mentioned something to you guys that I would like you to take very serious. That is, um, try to start building your community. Each of you should create a Telegram group. Either Telegram, yeah, Telegram is better. Don't use WhatsApp. So there are two things. You either use Telegram or you use Discord. But for now, I think you can start with Telegram. Create Telegram for all your, for this your projects. So for example, Utilize. Have a Telegram group for Utilize. Then Wastevan, you can have a Telegram group. You see all your projects, get a Telegram group. Then when you get a Telegram group, I need you guys to start doing something. You have your closest friends. Tell them that you are building this idea and you need them to join the community so that when you are done, they'll help you to test the idea. Start getting people in there. For these people will even validate your idea. And whenever we get to the testing period, you use them to test that idea. And also, if um, if you are applying for a grant and they come to see that you already have a community of like 50 people to 100 people inside the community, this is a very big green flag for you. Very big green flag. So let's do that. And it's very easy. If you are building, for example, Kanwu, you are on campus. Don't hide yourself. Let your friends around you know that this is the idea you are currently building. And you are working so hard on that particular idea that you want it to happen. Forget that somebody will copy your idea. Look, people will see your idea. They love that they are those building the idea, but they can't build it. They can't. So if you are talking to people about your idea, you feel that maybe they will steal the idea. Look, just continue building. Oh, if I tell you how many repositories I cloned some years back, but they all die. They die in my because you cannot just do nothing. And you cannot just be sitting down and this person is building an idea, then because the person is explaining the idea to you, boom, you just go and start building. Okay, no problem. That's even a competition for me. If you love competition, that should even be something that you love. Okay, because I just discussed my idea to you, you are building, go and build. Then go, sit and start and continue building your work. Then you see what happens finally. But just try your best to start getting people to join. Let them know that. And then I think the most important thing right now is to get your MVPs ready. Get your MVPs ready. When you get the MVPs ready, then if you are talking to people, you this one should not skip me. Also, this one will cost you a bit, but try to get your domains. You guys, I need you guys to know that these projects you are building, you are sending it to many places. Like you are sending it afar. Don't just look at it to be something you just want to use and test yourself or what. No. So I think you should also get your domains. And you can get your domains. I will recommend that you get your domains here. Hostinja, because they take cryptocurrency. So hostinja.com. That's where I buy my domains. Just because they receive cryptocurrency. And now a domain doesn't cost that much. Maybe even with just $6, $5, you can get a simple domain. Don't try to get if you can, no problem. If you can get a .com, .org, that's not a problem. Just that those domains cost a lot. Okay, but I see that the extension doesn't really matter because I've seen so many successful projects right now, or even companies right now that are using .io, .xyz, whatever, and they are very successful. You can remember I just shared passport.xyz with you. It was it yesterday, and you could realize that they are using XYZ, and some are using even dot live, dot whatever. They are successful. Just also make sure that you get an extension which that makes sense. But there are some extensions. Dot net is there. Dot net is good. Dot net is good. For example, this whizband.net is great because this is a network kind of thing, So it all depends on how you normally, but for utilize like this, utilize .com, but I'm not sure you get utilize.com again. It is, I'm sure that this domain will not be available anymore. It is, but for utilize that name, but for kanhu.com there you get very sure. Kanhu.com and even kanhu.com, the the fee will be very small. That's what I'm thinking because normally using the local names, that's the advantage of using the local names.
Yeah, it says it's 12 euros. So I checked one time.
It's how much?
12
€12.
euros. Like I was like,
What?
hey,
What? Anyway, for .com there, that's how mad .com is. But .net is fine too. .net, even .io, .xyz, those things, those extensions too are good. Hey, can we do, hey, guys, these people, how can we do? We don't have these things in Africa yet. So if this was in the US or UK, 12 euros is not anything. It's just like top Ghana so this. 12 euros is not anything. But Ghana here converting this, that's huge. But we don't have these platforms in Ghana. So what can we do? Yeah. So guys, this is just something that you should ponder on after this. Try to get your domains, then get your Telegram communities too. Get your Telegram community. If you are talking to people about Wastevan, tell them that, just let them know that you are far gone building the project, and this is a project that you want it to become live. Let them know that they should start to join your community, and when they join your community, guys, don't let the community. This is a whole lot of work. Don't let your community be like a cemetery yard. Okay, at least try to, you can be, what you are doing. For example, if you are, for let's say waistband, if you are building waistband, your interest area is in the waste and green environment. So try to start making research about Web3 and then green environment. How these things correlate together, and then your interest area. Because those who are joining your community, you have to start, shaping their mind towards what you are building, and you can be doing that. So, like I say, this is also another work. You have your teams. One of your team member you can dedicate one of your team member to handle that. Once you handle many other things, stuff like that. So just make sure once in a while, not every time, maybe once in a week or something, because posting things like that concerning what you are doing, so that your community is not a cemetery yard. And I tell you for a fact, when you come out with either an airdrop or even a referral program one day or a marketing program one day for your DApp, these are the people that will be the founders of your project. These are the guys that will support your project and push it for the public to know. And it all starts from now. The time you are building the MVP, that's when everything starts. And for example, right now, library protocol, we have a lot of white people joining the community. And when they come, you see them asking questions like, so can you tell us more about this and stuff? They come to the community, they are joining. Do you know why they are joining? These people, they had no trust. But the moment they click their thing and they see that this community already have this number of people, they join. But they just click and see that two people, or no, they had no trust. And those guys too are there to support your project. So we need this because we are growing, and we need any way that will help to make our things, successful. we have to explore that and get it. So this is really great. So I think we can stop talking now and then. Guys, let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's make sure that we get this done. I tell you for a fact, I know that the end of this is going to be very interesting for for us all. But you know, it is always difficult, which I know you also will understand. It's always difficult doing this. Sometimes it's only the motivation that pushes you to continue building. It's only the motivation. Yes. Especially at this time that we are building without any support. We're only building with the hope that one day it start to make sense. So, that's the period things are really difficult. And then things become less difficult the moment you get to a level, then you start to apply for funding. And then some people start to get sense in what you are building and they start giving you some small money to continue building. That's where things start to become interesting. But that's also the time laziness start to come in. So this is a time that hard work, the great hard work really counts. Because I know some projects that got money to continue, but then some Kenyan guys came to Abitron. They just took $16,000. They ran away. These guys. ah, they just came and took $16,000 and they ran away. So the guys were asking me about it. I could not even say nothing. I was just like, we are still in touch with them, this and this. And the guys that were supervising that grant round were from LATAM, Sidgov. They were those supervising it. So they reached out to us and we were asking. We said, yeah, sometimes they just try to find, validate some things. And then these guys got that $16,000. They were going to integrate integrate their work. They are already building on style this and Rust. So their plan was to now use Arbitrum stylus. So they convert their thing to the stylus and then to be working on the Arbitrum chain and stuff like that. They just came with a very nice proposal. That wasn't going to even just they would just be in the room and make that happen. And their proposal was even something that was somehow, but finally they got this $16,000. And right now they are nowhere to be found. You don't even know whether they are acceptable. You see, I want to mention their names so that you see them one day. But I even had I think I had their repo. I downloaded their when they came for the grant, they made their repo open. Then immediately they took the grant, they closed their repo. But I was fast enough to download that. And I still have it inside now, even though those guys were just something else. When I downloaded their repo, I realized that they are they are hiding so many things. They only showed some few repos. I don't know whether they deleted them or how they did that. I don't know. But they only show some repos, some important stuff they didn't show. Or maybe they have this particular repository lying down somewhere. Then they always push some things to it, and then they have the main repo somewhere where they are pushing to. So when they are going for funding, they pick this one. So these people are making the environment really bad for us Africans. Charlie. Sometimes it's not easy being an African there. It's worrying. Seriously. Charlie. Being an African is really something. It's not easy. Seriously. They just pick them and they run away. You don't know where to find them. From Kenya. They run away. But sometimes you sit and ask yourself, why are they able to convince the protocols? They are able to convince the protocols just because of these things I'm mentioning to you, and nothing much. Just these things I'm mentioning to you. Because already those guys were having like 600 people inside their Telegram group. So that number alone is something that will make these guys to think that people are having interest in what you are building. And Web3, the only thing one of the most important thing they use to validate somebody in Web3 is community. So they can already see that you have this number of people. They feel that, well, what he's building, people are already showing interest in what he's building. So if we push him to really build it, they will use it. But if they don't really know, they don't see anyone already showing interest. They feel that who is even going to use this product? So is that after that you're now going to get money to push it to a level, stuff like that. So it's just how the environment is being designed, and we have to dance to it to get ourselves, through it. So I think we should start working. Then let's make sure that next week when we meet. So today is Tuesday. Maybe next Tuesday coming. We'll be meeting next Tuesday evening. Like by this time, guys, let's try our best to start working. And from this week to next week, I am always available. And Likem is available. I think I will get him on standby anytime you need any support in what you are building. If you want to add me to your repo, or you just want to share something, some functions or what we mean, we can have a call. We can have a scheduled call so that we go through them. We see how we can discuss to get things done. Let's just make sure that these functionalities, we get them down. Then we can finalize everything with demo videos, even with our website. If the website is not complete, it should be at a level that when somebody the person can open the site, connect a wallet, and already see some things happening. So let's try to make that happen. And I know this is a very serious work, but it is very possible. We can do it. It's not anything. We can do it unless we don't really put our minds into it. We can do it. It's not anything. Yeah, we can. So let's see that happen. I think, so let me not forget this. Also, I don't know why the Gitcoin thing is quite difficult for you guys to do it, but I think that this is one of the problems that we are talking about. Gitcoin, you don't need even $2 to donate to a project on Gitcoin. Just $1 donation is okay to push a project to get $1,000 or even $2,000. That's how Gitcoin works. So, like I always say, Gitcoin works based on community. So it is based on quadratic voting. Okay. So any amount, or it depends on the number of people that supports your project, regardless of the amount they use. Even though there is a calculation based on the amount they use, but at the end of the day, what really works is the magnitude, the number of people that show interest in your project. So tomorrow, after you guys, finish building your projects to MVP, the easiest place and the simplest place to start getting some small funding to support yourself whilst you are building is Gitcoin. Because the other places you have to now go and start, write a lot, do a whole lot of things which you pass or you don't pass. But Gitcoin doesn't work that way. Gitcoin, no one is going to determine whether you can pass or you cannot pass unless you don't get people to support your project. It's a decentralized place. If people decide today and vote for your project, no one can stop, because it's a smart contract platform that will support and say that this number of people showed interest in this project. Therefore, this project is supposed to take this money from this pool. I think right now Gitcoin is going with how many something $1 million, that the pool of Gitcoin is something $1 million. And then the projects that are currently on Gitcoin will all get some money from this pool of $1 million. Okay, and that will only happen based on the quadratic voting formula that they are using. So at the end of the day, for example, if Library Protocol gets like 89 people that support their project, the mathematical formula will calculate this is the number of people that show interest in this project based on their their voting power, stuff like that. Then it just do the calculation. No one knows how the calculation, because the algorithm is very big. Last I went to check, the algorithm is too big. So all we know is that we read about how the calculation is being done. And the moment that is done, your money will be sent to you. We've gotten a lot of money from Gitcoin in the previous years for just submitting DeFi Africa. Then we get many people supporting DeFi Africa. At the end of the day, the last grant we got from Gitcoin was $2,149. That was the last grant we got from Gitcoin. And that was even the smallest, because there was also one round we went and we got like 4,000 something dollars from Gitcoin. And this only happened based on the number of people that support your project. That is the thing. So this passport I'm talking about today, even if you are not getting it for any one or any project, but if you are building your project and you also need community support one day, then you need it today. You need to get the passport today. And I was telling you, you don't really, me personally, when I started with Gitcoin, my passport score was around, I think it was around some $6 to $8, 6 to 8 points. That was when I started with Gitcoin passport. But later it keeps going up. Now I have like 39 score. And even I'll go more than that. It all starts from somewhere that you keep building. And I was also telling you that there's a way to optimize. If you have like low points today, you can still vote. Okay, so it is not that if you don't get up to 15 or 20, you cannot vote. You can still vote. And this is what happened. If you vote with your $1, if you vote like $1 with your small score, and then you can choose to vote like 3 projects. Then these 3 projects, you can give $1 to each project. Then what the algorithm will do, Gitcoin algorithm will do, is that it will mark that particular address. Then next round, you vote again with that particular address, maybe 3 projects again. Gitcoin take that algorithm again around that address. And now that particular address, when you send it back to the passport, you'll be qualified for Gitcoin, which also has, you'll be qualified for Gitcoin, and then some other things you'll be qualified. And these few things that you'll be qualified to will just boost your project, your address. And we really need these things. We really need these things that I'm talking about. So let's get this. These are all part of a way that will motivate us to keep building. And then we know that we are building in an environment where support is there. I think the worst place or the worst environment to build as a builder is an environment where there is no support. So you are only building and you don't even know why you are building, or even if today you are done building, who is going to support you? Because humans never thrive without support. So I think you guys should work on it and get your passport. Even if you don't want to donate to anybody or support anybody, get your passport. That is it. Actually, I don't know why this is quite difficult for us to do. But let's try our best to do it. Then I think we are done for now. In case we don't have any other thing to do or to talk about, we can call it a day. And then guys, let's just go to Gitcoin, then MVP, and then that's week 2, development and MVP building. That's where you start. Then we make sure that refinement and user testing will be done next week going. Okay. So from this week to next week, Tuesday, when we meet, we'll check how we'll check our contracts and then the platform to see how they are now working. Then the other week we'll focus on testing, security, and other stuffs so that we can even finalize everything in that week. Then we get our projects ready for the next move. Okay. So I think we can call it a day. And then, or do we have something? Are we together for tonight? All right, guys. So good night.
All right. Thank
Good
you very
night.
much, and then good night to you.
Sure, you're welcome. The session is recorded and will be shared later.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.